Today I'm going to be showing you the radiator from a YZF1000R Thunder Race. This one needs a bit of cleaning up because it's a bit rough in places. For instance, down there is all rusty, so that needs painting. You can see the paint just falling off, so that needs doing. Down there as well, look, on the brackets, all these need painting. You can see there's a few dints in the fins. Now, as long as the core hasn't been punctured, you shouldn't get any leaks from there. This is just where the fins have been bent back. You can see there that there's like loads of white residue. I would have thought that that's from the antifreeze that you put in, and because it's been stood for 4 years, that's why it's corroded like that. Same on this side. They'll need all cleaning up. Same on the top one. Paint's flaking. And if you turn it over, it's fairly mucky, so all that'll need cleaning. The paint's scabbing, it's full of moss and stuff like that. Now, just to explain quickly what each part is. As you can see, these are the fins, the cooling fins, or fans, another one. You'll notice that when I spin this one, it's making a bit of a sound. Now we'll have to investigate what that is. It could be something what's just scraping slightly. These, that, and that are the brackets that bolt to the top of the frame. This pipe, this one goes around to the thermostat, and this is where you've got your filler cap on. This one goes down to the oil filter. There's like a casing where it goes onto, and this one goes down to the water pump. These brackets are obviously not Yamaha standard. This one was actually bolted to the cylinder head. As you can see, the homemade brackets, where the normal ones, they're sort of like a very slight S shaped, and they bolt, I don't know where they bolt, I've forgotten now, but anyway, they can only, when you've got the brackets on, they'll only go to a certain place on the frame, and certainly not the engine. So, oh no, they go to the bottom of the engine, I think, but anyway. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to strip this radiator down and then show you what it'll be like when it's finished. By the way, this screw, that's some sort of earth screw, and these two are some sort of temperature. I think that one's for the temperature for your clocks, and I think that is a temperature sensor that kicks the fan in. So, and at the top there you've just got your brackets for any wires that go across. So what I'll do is I'll loosen everything off, and then we'll continue the video as we dismantle it. Whew, I've got all the fittings off the radiator. Now, there was a problem. This screw is the earth. You can just about see the copper washer there, just above my thumb, what I'm clicking onto now. That's where the wire had snapped off, and this bolt were really corroded in. Now I've hacked at it and just managed to get it out, but there is a bit of a downside to that. You can see where it's on a slant now. It should be level like that, and that's because this casing is soft aluminium, and because I've been tapping it with an hammer, and I have only been tapping it, it has actually pushed it down a little bit. Now I'm hoping that although it looks a bit deformed, it's still going to be sealed. I could probably stick something down there and try and get it underneath and prise it back up, but I think what I'm going to do, because I can't see any cracks in there, I'm going to leave it, and when I come to put a new, I'm not going to put a screw in like that. I'm going to probably put an Allen key bolt or a proper hex head bolt in, for the simple reason, what people do is when they tighten these up, they think they turn into Hulk and tighten up as tight as they can, and there's no need for it, because it's a complete pain in the arse to get them undone again. So all the fans are off, so all the stuff's off it. This now needs a right good doing with one of these, a wire brush. I don't know if you can see this, but if you hold it up to the light, you can, this isn't doing it very good, but you can actually see through the fins, so you can see if there's any blockage there, or a good strong torch will do it. These fans, just spin them to make sure they're alright. They need cleaning up, brushing down. So I shall do that. That's probably going to take me a couple of hours to scrub them down, and then I'll give them a quick paint, and we'll see the result when it's back together. I'm going to go outside and stick a hose pipe down all, and then all water will come rushing out. That'll flush it out a little bit, but the main thing is just to give it a right good clean and a bit of a waft over with some paint, and then it'll look totally different. So we shall see what it's like later. Okay, what I've done is I've been outside and washed that radiator down. I've rubbed it down, scrubbed it down with my wire brush. Been outside and just hosed it. I haven't used a power jet because it bends the fragile fins inside there. Just as a quick explanation, the actual water doesn't go through these fins. I don't know if you can see, but the actual water goes through the them there. See that? And that, and that, and that, and that. That's where the water goes through them there. All the fins do is transfer the heat from them, where the water's going through, into the fins, and then when you're driving down the road, the air goes through the fins and cools it. Now what I'm going to do now is just try and test one of these fans, because I haven't got a clue if they work or not. Last thing I want to do is put it on the bike and it overheats. So I'm just going to pop this camera, unless I can do it with one hand. Right, I'm going to try and do this with one hand, well, two hands, so you'll have to bear with me. So, where's that? Right, all I'm going to do is connect it up to the battery. Now that's working alright. So I'll check the other one. I'll go and scrub this and then once it's all scrubbed down and washed, it's ready for painting. Now what I did do is I've got my air hose, and all it is a gun like that, and just try to dry it off like that. As you can see, there's on my cellar floors a pile of water where I thought I'd got it all outside, but all the water must still be stuck inside these fins that have been bent back a little bit. Now this is the front of the radiator, and you can just see there's like a line. Well, it's sort of like it starts from the middle and goes to each bottom corner. Obviously that's where your wheel is. Now you've got a mud guard, but the mud guard only comes so far, so you do get loads of shit splatting onto the radiator. That's why majority of the radiators are always mucky and damaged and bent on bottom half, because that's where all crap goes. But you need that airflow to cool it, so it's pointless putting a guard on because it just won't cool it. So unfortunately that's one of the downsides. But anyway, so all I've done to test that fan as well is just a tiny bit of wire. This is just, look, household wire connected up to a I didn't even know there were any power in that battery, to be honest with you. And then so that's that tested. So I'll get it all ready for painting, and then I'm going to paint it, so the next time you will see this is when it's painted. Quick summary, I've got 3 minutes battery left. This is the radiator. I have now painted it, made sure, oh there's just a bit of a, but made sure everything's nice and clean, all the wires are alright. I have been a little bit impatient, and a bit of the paint has just come off where I've let it rest on the floor, which is a bit annoying. What I've done is cleaned up all the temperature gauges and stuff, and as you can see, that manky screw what we took out there, I'm going to replace it with a bolt, but I've just put that in temporary, only finger tight, just to protect it a little bit more. So I'm quite happy with that. Obviously the muck, I don't want to spend all day getting that out, but there we are, one radiator. Overall, I've cleaned inside there as well, but it'll look 10 times better than it was.